Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful evening. What is it today? It is August 12th, 2024. Thank you guys for joining me. Amazing. Let's give a shout out to the chat here. Good evening, Nikosmas. It's great to see you, Gandhi. Much love. Kari, good to see you, D-Love. Hello, Taz. Good evening. Amazing. Okay. Oof. Still feeling it with the allergies, but I'm pushing through. So bear with me a bit. But today is still an interesting day. It's a beautiful day. We have that incredible energy of the moon in Scorpio still, which is this deep energy of emotions and being really in tune with them and being ultra sensitive. So on one hand, there is this deep sensitivity here, right? This is a moment when we will be raw and exposed, and we will be sensitive to the pain of others as well. So we need to be cautious of this. But at the same time, such a deep connection will allow us to go deep down into our self, and we can be in this profoundly creative mode. And we're going to have a desire as well with this energy to express our inner emotions. So we need to embrace that energy and combine it with our sun, which is the sun in Leo. And the sun in Leo we've had for a while now, and as we know, it's this profound, bright energy of confidence and power, of being our unique selves and being able to move and create and being of the self. If we combine it with this Scorpio energy to its fullest extent, we can be truly creative and produce something magical, something of the self and for the self, you know? Interesting time, interesting astrological energy. When I was meditating this morning and I was thinking about the title and I was drawing my cards, I drew the Princess of Discs. And normally when I draw the princess, I read it as an energy coming into whoever's life I'm reading, myself or the client or the community or whoever. But in this case, I felt the energy was representative of us, that greater community, and that we are to embody this childlike energy, right? To embrace the wonder of the moment, to embrace the new, right? To embrace movement and change in our physical reality and to react to it, to adapt to it. You know, that princess of the woods is really deep energy. It connects to that Diana, you know, the huntress, that virginal energy, that most powerful energy under the moon, right? So you want to connect to that energy, be in that moment, feel this change, feel this, and approach it with this childlike wonder of beauty and embrace it, you know, and experience things and learn and grow from them. You know, now's a time when we can really be ourselves, when we can really move and change our current surroundings. If we can only embrace that wonder, you know. I also wanted to read to you guys. It's a short poem, but it's a beautiful one. It's by Alfred Lord Tennyson. It's called The Oak. It comes from his collection Demeter and Other Poems. It says, "Live thy life, young and old, like yon oak, bright in spring, living gold. Summer rich then, and then autumn changed, soberer hued, gold again. All his leaves fallen at length. Look, he stands, trunk and bough, naked strength." That idea to embrace the change, to move and grow through the seasons, you know, to be like nature and to flow and adapt, right? And the oak is such a profound symbol, really rooted deep in the mysteries, you know. The oak reaches up towards the stars as well. It grows tall, right? When I was studying the Olympic Games with Dion for our live stream the other day, one of the interesting things was that the earliest gift for the winner of the Pythian Games was a laurel crown, or a crown not of laurel leaves, as we normally associate with Apollo, but of oak leaves. Oak leaves originally. Just interesting. But yeah, I love this image, being able to grow and adapt and to change. And to recognize the youthfulness in this moment, right? Of being happy and embracing that newness with that loving energy of the child. Anyway, let's continue. We're going to go now to our Ganapati Ganesha Oracle. And we're going to ask Lord Ganapati to come down and inspire us, to bless us, to give us advice. And Ganapati is that Lord of the threshold of beginnings. He is that divine child, the bringer of abundance and joy, Lord of the Ganas, the spirits. What is the message? Okay. We've seen this one before, but it's a beautiful one. Priorities. Priorities. Organize your life, right? Set things in order. This is about being distracted. This is intense energy for this moment, right? In our current realm. One of the things that's a defining energy of the present is this overwhelming intrusion of technology and media into every moment of our lives. You know, we are constantly bombarded with information and people asking for attention, you know. Now we need to really mind our priorities, lest you get sucked into a TikTok hole or onto a YouTube binge, you know. And here I am, a YouTuber, right? But set your priorities first, you know. What are you doing? What are you doing? Organize your life and figure it out, as the mystical Cro-Mags would say. Anyway, let us continue. We are now going to go to Goethe, Faust. And we're going to do our sortes. For those of you who are unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature. And it comes to us through the Greco-Roman tradition. And we ask those goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, to inspire us and to guide our hand and to send us a message through the text. We read a line, we read it out of context, and we interpret it through our intuition and through our reason. So muses, what is the inspiration? Guide us this evening. One never knows toil as one may, what pleases him. No sign of grace is seen upon his lordship's face. Oh, wow. One never knows toil as one may, what pleases him. No sign of grace is seen upon his lordship's face. This is a really interesting line. It's this recognition of the power of privilege, and that privilege can remove one from grace and the ability to experience that joy and love. You know, there's a necessity for hardship and for work and for transformation, you know. And I shouldn't just say privilege, but that greed, that embracing of the greed and sloth and being removed from the natural world, right? Being in that true frivolity, right? You have to know toil, right? You have to understand the other side of the coin to know what pleases you, right? To understand what it is to give grace and forgiveness, right? Can't be seen upon his lordship's face. You know, the Lord can't see the average person. This is something we also need to recognize. It's just a reality, you know. People with that kind of extreme privileged, you know, oftentimes they have a hard time. Yeah, anyway, think about it. Just think about it. All right. And reject power, you know. Power corrupts. All right. Here we go. Hermann Hesse, Narcissus and Goldman. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us. I don't want that. I want to live in Rome, to feel summer and winter, to experience the world, taste its beauty and its horrors. Could we have gotten a clearer message? I don't want that. I want to live in Rome, to feel summer and winter, experience the world, taste its beauty and its horrors. And that is what we should all want. Chase not for lordship. Chase not for material wealth and for greed and for honor. Instead, live for the experience. Rome, feel the transformation, embrace the beauty of the world, seek love, right? Amazing. Thank you, Hermann Hesse. Let's continue. Okay, we're now going to go to Lorca and the three tragedies, which are Bloodwedding, Yerma, The House of Bernarda Alba. A lot of people are unfamiliar with Lorca. If you have yet to read it, read The Bloodwedding. It'll it'll get to you. Or even better, you can watch a live performance on YouTube. There's some really good ones. Some really good theater performances. All right, Muses, what is the message from Lorca? Wow. These clothes that are my babies, I wash here in the stream, to teach the stream a lesson, how crystal-like to gleam. These clothes that are my babies, I wash here in the stream, to teach the stream a lesson, how crystal-like to gleam. As above, so below. And even the river wants to experience the beauty of the child, even if it is through simply the cleaning of the clothes, to be near that power of birth. Wow. And recognize, right, that these relationships with deity are an exchange of loving and adoration, of giving and sharing, right? The deity has much to give and we have much to give. They can't experience the world as we can, and nor can we experience it as they can. But together you can experience something profound in that shared relationship, right? Interesting. Egyptian Tarot of Thelema by Oliver St. John. All right, Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from Oliver St. John? Before performing any tarot divination, see to it that you have properly prepared yourself as an instrument of seeing. as an instrument of seeing. This is a really interesting phrase and really deep and profound. And I paused there because I was really thinking upon this word, because it really sits with me. What is it to see and to perceive, right? And the one who perceives is that Saturnian force, right? That's that act of cutting, of measuring, right? Of holding something within time, of being that object that can look, right? And that requires focus. And it requires this recognition and reception, right? Through the sight, to look. It's a violent act, and it's an act of invasion in a sense. Divining is an act of peeping, It's really intense. But what they're also getting here at is to be that seeing eye, to being this diviner. You really have to embrace that. So much about magic is about transformation. It's about theatrics, okay? It's about embodying what you wish to be. You have to become it. You have to ascend the throne and draw down the stars. You must become that authority, that power, right? You have to be the one who can see through time. And to do this, there's many different ways: ritual consecration, bathing, dance, belief, repetition. But it's this act of recognizing yourself as a conduit for another and being that moment through time through which perception comes, and seeing it as entering into this theatrical performance, where you are that receptor and that eye, the tunnel. If you were to perceive existence from another perspective outside of time, if you were to expand your perspective even greater, you would see each person as a snake, as a coiling, right? As a bunch of different people existing across a time stream. And to perceive them is to hold them in place, to recognize but a moment. Interesting. Waxing poetic, but that's the point. You got to be transformed by the images and by the poetry to be that conduit, right? To be that tunnel of perception and sight. That eye that sees. What is the eye, right? It's a mirror as well. You have to reflect. There's two sides to it as well. It's interesting. Interesting to think on. Wow. Let's continue. We're going to go now to Poe. Use this to guide my hand. What is the message from Poe? Inspire us this evening. We had here all around us the ordinary means of summer amusement, and what with rambling in the woods, sketching, boating, fishing, bathing, music, and books, we should have passed the time pleasantly enough, but for the fearful intelligence which reached us every morning from the populous city. This one I kind of feel. It's easy for us to live in our idyllic paradises, right? Especially those of us who are not necessarily connected to a city, and to experience that wonder of this summer, right? But we have to recognize too that the seasons change, and that the cities are our neighbors, and that what happens there happens here, and that we can't avoid these things 100%. Oof, oof. The dread reign of cholera. But it's also this interesting too, this moment to recognize that even in these dread rains, the pain is in the city. There's still love and life outside of these places, right? In the wilds and in the climes, in the far reaches, the world persists and life goes on. Sometimes none the wiser, you know? Often history likes to single out moments and make these big transformative things out of them. But they're just a moment like any other, and equally as important as what's happening on the other side of the world, right? While New York is experiencing its dread of reign of cholera, those of them in the wilds are living fancy free. Interesting. Okay, we're going to go now to the stories of Vikramaditya. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message? Inspire us this evening. The old king who was witnessing the rescue operations of the stranger, who later revealed himself as Vikramaditya, asked his son to fall at the feet of the great man who alone was responsible for saving him and his followers. Interesting. This is about honor, right, and respect. And also about recognizing too, in many of these stories, this is a constant theme, is that deity or the powerful, the magnificent reveal themselves in the stranger. And those who are kind to strangers and accepting of foreigners, and welcoming into people into their home, receive a blessing, right? The stranger who later revealed himself as Vikramaditya. Wow. And then when they recognized him as the king, they bowed and stood at his feet, right? And honored him for who he was. But first, that king had saved them. It's interesting. You never know who's going to turn out to be a king. Recognize the deity in everyone, Beautiful. Let us continue. Okay. Boccaccio, the Decameron. Muses, guide my hand. What is message from Boccaccio? However, I'm minded to answer none of them until I have related in my behoof, not indeed an entire story, for I would not seem to foist my stories in among those of so honorable a company as that with which I have made you acquainted, but a part of one, which that its very incompleteness may show that it is not of them. This idea that someone should not have to answer for a crime until their side of the story is heard, at least in part, right? At least in part. Maybe not the totality, but they have to be given voice, right? And this has been a theme lately in my life that keeps coming up, this recognition that multiple perspectives need to be taken into account, and to recognize the universe as this multifaceted place, as this place of multiple perspectives. And that in order to truly perceive something accurately, you have to witness it from multiple perspectives. A lot of stage magic, right, relies on controlling your perspective or getting you to pay attention, What are the hands doing over here? Well, this hand over here is tricking you, you know? Or we've all seen those art pieces where if you look at it straight on, it appears like a face, but then you turn to the side and it's trash, right? We need to just recognize this limitation and understanding that we have to take in multiple viewpoints in order to fully know, in order to fully see, to see what's going on. All right, we're going to continue here. We're going to go to Book of Thoth, Aleister Crowley. All right, Muse, guide my hand. What is the message from Aleister Crowley? Inspire us. The reason for this is that in the realm of the elements, all things are mixed and confused, or as the apologist might say, counterchecked and counterbalanced. Dote and antidote. Wow. In the realm of the elements, in our physical reality, everything is about balance and moving along the spectrum, along that swing, right? Recognizing the possibilities inherent in that fourfold production, you know. Think about, even you see this within the African tradition with Ifa. It's a beautiful thing when you get into the math and the numbers and the potentiality. Qubits. Interesting. All right. We're now going to do our tarot proper today. And as always, we are going to do our Thoth Tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. Before I begin, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a big difference. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me through my email, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right. So let's do our Saturn square, where we invoke Saturn Kronos, and we ask them to dissect our life, to put it on the plate, and to examine our present and all of our conflicts. And we ask, how do we overcome them? How do we evolve? How do we best move in flow? And how do we manifest our true will? And as always, the center card is the most important card. And today's center, Valor. Beautiful energy, Valor. Beautiful energy. Right? This is that energy of the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is building upon the Six of Wands, which is victory, right? Profound success, that balance, that absolute middle way. This is building upon that success to manifest the tower, to reach new ascended heights. And it is difficult to build upon that success. So that is why the wand is showing up here crooked, right? You must persist in spite of the challenge, right? For there are greater rewards still yet ahead, new plateaus to ascend to. If you can remain true to your vision, to your dream, if you can be true to yourself and to your will, right? So this is the message. Continue on the path. Continue to flow. Build upon the success in spite of the current moment where the struggle is real. The struggle is worth it. All right. Beautiful. Let us continue. Wow. And then on our right, we have that profound energy of the moon. Beautiful energy, that feminine energy, right? That intuitive energy, connecting to that divine mirror that allows us to look deep into the soul, to connect to that unfolding weave, to flow with the cycles and to adapt and move with them, to embrace that magical power of transformation and to be reborn into our best selves, you know, to draw down the star, to embrace that transformative light. Beautiful, beautiful energy. With this valor, right? This is about persisting, and it's about connecting to our deep sense of self, to listening to our intuition, to going to that feminine, you know, to persisting in this middle path between the pillars, right? Beautiful. Let's continue. I love this energy, the Hermit energy. More confirmation. There still needs to be a confrontation here. There needs to be a reflection of this light into the internal reaches, right? This is that energy of Estrella, of Virgo, that pure light of self-refinement, right? In the mythology, Estrella is that goddess who, through her purity and self-refinement, sets herself ablaze and ascends to the stars. This is also that energy of Hecate and her purity, helping Demeter shine that light to seek out the lost Persephone, to scour the underworld, to bring back love, to find love in the thicket of darkness, right? To persist through with that loving light and that power. This is that energy of doing that hard work, of going into those dark places and shining a light, right? Of making that search, of looking into the self and truly knowing the self, of doing that disciplined analytical work of self reflection and self. The hermit also is the one who does those mystical rites, who performs the yoga, right? Who does the rites of refinement, who is that disciplined practitioner, right? This is the counterpart to that priestess energy, who is the disciplined feminine energy, the one who weaves, right? This is that masculine energy, is the one who removes himself from the world and commits the austerities, goes through the practices of the yoga, and looks deep into that inner part of the soul. Interesting energy. All right. And this is about remaining valorous to ourself, of shining that light internally and continuing to persist and to continue to go into those dark places. What I'm getting here is that many of us, upon this spiritual quest, upon this quest for self, we've experienced success, right? It's starting to become meaningful. And often when meaning starts to come into our life, it's when we become lax again, or we wonder if we'll ever get back to that profound moment, and getting there, it's so much work. This is a reminder that to continue to persist, to continue to push, that there are bigger things ahead, greater transformations still, and not to relent, but to be true to yourself and to that image. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Embody that chariot energy, right? Pursue your desire. Build upon that success and move and grow, right? What is the chariot? The one who pursues, chases after the spinning top, the strophalon of Hecate, who dons the armor and goes into battle, who takes responsibility, who moves in action and in flow, that Hephaestus energy of refining, of creating, of craftsmanship, of transformation, for the sake and pursuit of that beauty. Amazing energy. Amazing energy. The key here is to be in that valorous pursuit and to move towards it. Let's see what's happening on our other side here. Yeah. Knight of Swords energy. Knight of Swords energy. This is that energy of that intellectual masculine, right? That mature energy of the one who pursues reason, but it's also that most profound energy of the knight. It's knight in its most pure and airy. This is the knight who pursues after those deep philosophical goals, who goes out to save the princess, who's willing to fight for ideals, to transform reality, Powerful, powerful energy connected to that chariot. This is pursuing those higher goals, spiritual pursuits, ethical pursuits, philosophical dreams. See where it's going. Wow. Having that strength, right? The knight now is doing the battle. They are donning the armor. They are being engaged. What I'm seeing here between the valor and between the strength is to recognize that this is a moment of passionate movement and challenge. It's not painful, it's beautiful. There is struggle here, but this is that struggle that brings joy. This is sport. This is game. This is pursuit. This is about you learning to embrace that game, to be strong and to engage in that chase, to do what is necessary to transform. Because when you receive the goal at the end of this struggle, it will be so profound. Wow. Light that fire, be inspired. Move, be strong, pursue this with the full extent of yourself. Love it. Let's continue. What is the chariot moving towards? What is the valor pursuing? This love and abundance, that loving connection, right? The 3 is always about that expansive growth, 369, right? Profound feminine energy as well, musical energy, abundant energy. This is about that love and embrace of family, right? Of relationships that are expansive and exploding, about new things coming. Interesting. Let's see where this is going. Connected to this abundance, there is this logical sorrow. There's this sorrowful energy here, which is interesting. You know, what I'm seeing here is that part of this pain here and the sorrow here that is coming is that there's this desire for things to happen now. There's desire for movement to be here. There is a conflict about what we want and what we have, right? The sorrow, right? That's that Libra energy, and it's coming up and it's recognizing that there's an imbalance, that there isn't enough love, that there is a disconnect, right? Let's see where this is going. Yeah. It's about learning to be reasonable. What I'm seeing here is that there may be coming out of a depression. This is that energy of love coming in and causing us to finally have the energy to see things from that reasonable approach. This is interesting. Yeah, this loving, abundant energy that is appearing is causing this shift, right? Where we're moving away from the pain of the sorrow, the lack of the sorrow, this 3, to this reasoned science, to this abundance. And it's from taking in these alternative perspectives, right? It's from embracing that community energy and from relating to this, right? 3 and 3 is 6, and the 6 is here. So in order to overcome the sorrow, it's about connecting to this love. And that love will allow you to expand your perspective and overcome that depression, to embrace reason and to see things from a totality. And also the love coming in is love coming in, right? Which is profound and beautiful and will uplift you and will give you the strength to do the hard work of even being able to recognize the world. We can't really see things if we're in pain. Pain is such a hard emotion to deal with. Interesting energy, this one. Interesting energy. All right, so our square is down. Before I flip, once again, if you could, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a difference with the algorithm. And it is just good blessing, good karma. It would mean the world. And you can also leave a comment if you're at all interested, if it resonated with you, if you thought it was helpful. Please let me know. And if you're interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, snappydts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. Okay, let's take a look here at our full spread. Here is our full Saturn square. We'll start here. So we have our moon, that profound feminine, that intuition, you know. And what we're seeing here is that through this embrace of this feminine, through this connection of this intuitive energy and this transformation and self-reflection, through doing this hard work that we see here in the middle path, right? This is giving us the ability to overcome this depression, right? To overcome the funk that we've been in, to get out of this hole, to transform this thinking. This sorrowful thinking, this is deep rooted pain. This is something that's really internal and has been here for a while. And the moon is shining a light onto this, to this deep rooted sorrow, right? And now we are coming as that knight, that force that can confront that sorrow, that has the power to act in reason and to move and to overcome this, right? So through that reflection and that refinement and that hard work, that valor, through that purity, that analytical Virgo, the one who does the hard work of self-reflection, right? We can embody this energy of the Knight of Swords, and we can overcome that sorrow and that grief, and we can move and manifest our dreams and transform our reality. We can go in pursuit of our ethics, of our philosophical goals, right? We can transform the world around us. We can don that honor. We can move with strength. Beautiful. But we need to overcome this sorrow. We need to first do that internal fight. We need to reflect with this power of the moon, with that divine feminine. Go to the deepest recesses of our soul, find where these inner pains are, because this is that deep pain, deep internal pain, right? Childhood wounds. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Right? This is all about pursuing love in abundance, and having the strength to move to pursue it. Being passionate and connecting to it, right? That sorrow energy doesn't move. That sorrow energy, it restricts you. It prevents movement. Just as too much thinking prevents movement. In order to flow and to be able to be this energy of the chariot, we have to become the knight first who can overcome that sorrow. And then we can pursue this with valor and strength, build upon the successes that we've already manifested, and move towards this love in abundance. New relationships, new connections, new friends, and overflowing potential. All right, this one. Yeah, having the strength to do the hard work of going into those deep recesses, of doing the hard political thinking, right? This is all about manifesting this reason and this science, of becoming that logical person, of seeing things from the true perspectives. To see things from different perspectives, you actually have to think about these different perspectives. You have to do the work of either listening or reading, right? And also listening and looking inward. And you have to have the fire and the strength to do that work, right? The Virgo is that one who refines themselves, who does that hard work, who looks and takes responsibility for themselves, recognizes that no one else can change where you are. It doesn't matter what brought you here in some ways, okay? We all have tragic stories. We've all faced abuse. What are you doing about it? Do you have the strength, the swords to face those inner challenges, to face the experiences in front of you? Can you muster the strength to wield them? Can you shine a light and go to the underworld and rescue your daughter? Or will you let her be down there alone forever, lost to you? Do you have the strength? That's what this is the calling for, to have the strength necessary to walk that middle path. Okay, this is an intense reading. Let's continue. We do our crosses. Yeah. In order to overcome this sorrow, you need to turn to the love and the inspiration to shine a light onto that pain, to expose that light with the strength of love and passion and this fire, to be true to yourself and to see yourself for who you are in the present, right? To embrace that strength in the now and to have the strength to confront this pain. This is a deep wound, a past wound, a child wound, right? And you need this passion to go to those places. Oof. All right. Yeah. To be able to build upon the success, to be this valorous energy that can shine a light and do this transformation that's necessary to move you towards this loving abundance, you have to embody that night. You take responsibility, be that mature, actionable one. Do the hard work of self-reflection. Do the hard work of learning from all of these multiple perspectives, right? Do the science, do the research, learn for yourself. See yourself for who you truly are. Connect to others. Don that armor, right? Don that armor, embrace your passions, have the strength and the courage to face these wounds. If you want that love, if you want to move and to grow upon this, you're going to have to overcome this pain. And to overcome it, it's all about being that knight. And that knight needs to embrace reason. It needs to have the strength to move and to don that armor, to pursue the passionate, that love, that abundance. It's about connecting to the moon to do so and being that hermit, the one who does it. Wow. Intense energy, everyone. I hope that resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. You know, we all have to do that hard work of self-reflection and transformation. And we need to recognize when there are things that are holding us back, things that we don't want to look at, you know? And even if we're not aware 100% of what those things could be, sit with the self and ask yourself, you know, if you're not moving, if you're not in flow, there's a reason for it. You know the reason. You're just not being honest with the self, or you can't tell yourself at this point. It's a conversation only you can have with yourself. You know, there's a whole other universe that only you can know, that no one else is privy to. That's your birthright. That's your blessing, but also your curse. Right? And you have to go into those places and shine your light. All right, we're going to do one final sortaste and then call it an evening. Let us go back to Vikramaditya. Okay. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Vikramaditya? When the food was ready, Bhatti spread 10 large leaves with seats before them and signaled to the merchant's daughter to serve the dishes on all the 10 leaves. This is beautiful. 10 leaves, 10 servings of food, wealth and abundance, material success. Right? Wow. If you can continue to pursue that valor and to move, to be that chariot, then that wealth will come. That 10 of discs is manifesting, right? Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Love to see it. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Oof. Sorry, almost sneezed there. Hopefully these allergies leave me alone soon. All right, everyone. Take care. Love you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow.